if I can open the can. Come on. There we go. Hello everyone. Hang on. Okay. Hi, hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to our cozy little corner of the internet. I'm Pen and today I'll be reading the second fic of the He Heard You the First Time series by CallMeIzukuNotDeku. This fic is called Use Your Words. This fic is just a little under 3,300 words and I love it. I literally just finished reading through it now, so yep. Anyway, if you guys have any fic recs, just put them down in the comments and I'll have a look at them. Anyway, here is the summary. He requested ground beta. Surprising the both of us, yes. Schroeder sighed, exasperated. It was much too early in the year for that. His class should be doing basic martial arts in the gym, not throwing their quirks around with reckless abandon. That asshat was going to get them killed, and you told him he couldn't use it because they're children who don't know what they're doing yet. Is that right? Aizawa. His eye twitched. Tell me you didn't let him throw a bunch of children in a training ground and said good luck. Nezu was quiet for a moment, swallowing before whispering, I didn't wish him good luck. Now, this is part of a series, as I already said, and this most likely won't make sense if you haven't read the first one, but you can attempt it anyway. Hope you guys enjoy, and let's start this fic. There was a buzzing in Izuku's veins. They were a week and a half into the school year, and finally they would be doing something other than reading through the textbook or listening to All Might recount stories of his most heroic battles. It wasn't all too bad of a day either. He woke up a bit cold, and the pain in his back was excruciating, but limited to his back. So he popped a couple of painkillers and called it breakfast, packing a few more in his school bag. Lunch. School was no less eventful than usual, and he had once again impressed himself with his ability to act as if nothing was bothering him. Maybe if heroics didn't work out, he could get into acting, but then again, there wasn't too much demand for Quirkless actors, and the few open roles didn't pay too well. If all else fails, that could be Plan F, but the only person who knew something was wrong was Kachan, and he had never been an efficient whistleblower. Heroics was still Plan A. President Mike filled out the room, telling them they had instructions to change into their costumes and be outside of the locker rooms where All Might would be waiting to lead them to the training grounds. Izuku made sure he was in and out of the lockers before the small talk was over, but meandered enough so he wouldn't be alone with All Might. Once enough people were there, he joined in on a conversation. He couldn't even say what they were talking about. He could feel All Might's eyes on him. He could feel the stabbing on his back. Nothing else registered really. Once everyone was there, All Might called the class to order and began his oration. He absent-mindedly listened to the instructions before picking his team, and that's when he was finally distracted from his pain. He was going to go up against Bakugo. Suddenly, there were 4 eyes on him, and if he could have taken the pill to get rid of that feeling, he wouldn't have hesitated to ask for it. The unfortunate thought only reminded him that the pain meds were wearing off and his other ones were in his bag, and he couldn't get to them until the exercise was over. He focused on his breathing until it was their turn, and then, while the villain set up, Uraraka turned to him. Ida and Bakugo, huh? What a team! Do you have any ideas on how to stop them? He took a breath, making sure to mask his pain as well as he could. I may have one, he said, turning to her. Bakugo's going to come after me. They'll leave Ida alone with the weapon. He'll try to overcompensate, most likely trying to block your quirk. How would he do that? Remove anything you could use. She nodded. It will take too much time to find different places to hide it all, so he'll put them all in one room. Once you find him and the weapon, search the nearby rooms for the stash of stuff. Grab a few things you could use and distract and redirect him with it until he can get to the weapon. Try to leave actually injuring him as a last resort. It wasn't necessary, really, but Izuku knew what it was like to be hurt by a friend. Those blows struck deep, and he wasn't quite sure if those wounds would ever heal. What will you be doing during all that? Leading Bakugo away from you. She gave a sympathetic smile. So you're like the bait? Yeah, he laughed. Something like that. Soon after that, they set up the headsets they were given to communicate through the exercise before given permission to begin. They made their way to the second floor. They made it to the second floor before Izuku heard Bakugo. He looked Uraraka in the eyes. Run. And she did. There was a foot in his back, and his pain lit up. If he were trying to downplay it, he might have said that it felt like an electrical surge down his spine and through his legs. What wasn't liquid flame was gelatin. He couldn't help it if he stumbled a bit. There you are, Deku. How's the Quirkless treating you? Better. He backed up, trying to focus on anything but the pain. He made sure his mic was off before saying, Sometimes I can go a full day without someone telling me to kill myself. Bakugo threw his right hook, and Izuku knocked him over before slipping away and hiding into an empty hallway. He heard crackling in his ear. Izuku, are you alright? He opened his mouth to respond before he heard footsteps nearby. More crackling. Izuku? He closed his eyes and listened until Bakugo had lost him. He turned on the mic and retreated further into the labyrinth of hallways. I told you he would come for me. Are you okay? She was more urgent this time. Mostly. Nothing hurts, so anything else is a problem for later. A little white lie wouldn't hurt her, and besides, if he complained every time he was in pain, he would never shut his mouth. The footsteps were closer this time, and Izuku moved further away again. Looking up, he found the ceiling tile. Oh, of course, I forgot about that. Yep, that's... Always forget that. Great. Thank you, phone. Well, that's an outtake. Not outtake, I'm leaving this in anyway, but... yeah. The footsteps were closer this time, and Izuku moved further away again. Looking up, he found the ceiling tiles that would be easy to move. But as much as he wanted to hide, he knew Kachan would use Uraraka against him if he did. He'd have to keep him close by. Alright, she said, probably remembering his non-existent quirk. Should I try to distract him? Kachan was still too close, so for a long time he said nothing. Izuku? Uraraka's voice seemed almost deafening in his ear. He could hear Kachan's breathing just around the corner. After a moment, the sound dissipated. He turned his mic back on. You can't distract him. Eat it smart and he'll have cleared everything in the room for you to use. Stick to the plan. Find the stash. I'll keep leading Kachan away from you, but I'm going to have to be very quiet. I'll stay online so I can hear I can hear you, but I'm not sure when I'll be able to respond. He heard Uraraka say something, but the static disappeared in place of an explosion. The pain in his back struck out with vengeance as his head collided against the floor with such force that it forced his head to bounce back up, much to the dismay of his neck. Then there was a hand behind his ear, and his skull was being shoved into the concrete. As familiar a feeling as it was, he couldn't say he remembered it ever being this loud. So, talking to the... Nope. Talking to the gravity girl again? No, that's just a whole bunch of jumbo. Talking to the gravity girl again, huh? Talking to the gravity girl again, huh? How long do you think it'll take for her to leave after she finds out you're null? Izuku clenched his jaw closed. When he looked up at Kai-chan, the boy was smiling. I bet it'll be the same day. The words... I bet it'll be the same day. Nope, okay, no, that is Bakugo. I bet it would be the same day. Words were a weakness he could not afford. And I'll tell the staff too. You'll be gone as soon as they can find an excuse. Kai-chan's smile seeped off his face. Quiet little bitch, aren't ya? It was then when he noticed just how warm Kai-chan's hand was. He tucked his head just before the explosion went off. Luckily, it was rather tame, not meant to scare him, but not maim him. Kai-chan, still above him, put a hand around his neck. You want to stop? Use your words, Deku. And he was tired. So tired. Please? What? Stop it. Please stop it. Oh, I will, he promised, leaning in closer. Just turn on your mic and tell her you're quirkless. He scoffed. What's your deal with Ruaka? You think she's cute? Anger flashed in Kai-chan's eyes, exactly what he needed. He wriggled back and forth until he dislodged himself from Kai-chan that was still on top of him and tried to skitter away. Kai-chan wound up his arm, hand open. Izuku raised his arms to block the strike, not expecting it to send him stumbling backwards, Izuku raised his arms to block the strike, not expecting it to send him tumbling backwards like a useless wooden doll. Deku! It was more growled than spoken, but Izuku managed to distinguish it from the ringing in his ears. And then Kai-chan pulled something off his costume with a click. His headset crackled to life. I found the stash. It'll all be over soon. He thought about reaching for the mic button, but he wasn't sure what he'd say. Then the explosion went off, and he didn't think much of anything for a rather long time. Geez, English. So, he requested ground beta. Surprising for the both of us, yes. Shota sighed, exasperated. It was much too early in the year for his students to be doing that. His students should be doing basic martial arts training in the gym, not throwing around their quirks with reckless abandon. That asshat's going to get them killed. And you told him that he couldn't use it because they're children who don't know what they're doing yet. Isn't that right? Aizawa. His eye twitched. Don't tell me you didn't let him throw a whole bunch of children in the training ground and said good luck. Nezu was quiet for a moment, swallowing before whispering. I didn't wish him good luck. Nezu. He's the #1 hero. You didn't. I didn't think he needed luck, but he does very much need supervision. I'll do it. Consequences be damned. Nezu reeled back, staring at him for a moment before giving a slight laugh. And I was ready to go rather far to convince you as well. I trust you'll compensate me properly. When have I not? That was a good enough promise for him. Could you send me the video and transcript for class? Nezu pursed his lips. There was no videos, but I'll send you everything else. What exactly does that mean? It means the building fell. Do you know how much force? You'll see, Aizawa. I promise you will see everything. The email came just as he opened his laptop in the teacher's lounge. He read Nezu's brief forewarning and admitted that he didn't exactly know what took place. He clicked on the first file and his stomach sank. He felt his stomach sink. File 1. Yagi Toshinori's lesson plans. Topic: Heroics Basic Quirk Exercises. Lesson 1. Revised. Lesson number 1. Revised. Objectives. Lesson objectives. Get heroes getting comfortable using their quirks. Oh, that's not All Might's voice. That's gonna have to do. Material. Costumes. Textbooks not needed. Activity. Team exercises to observe active quirk use. Assessment. Test of skill. With every line, Aizawa cringed just a bit more. He knew it wasn't going to be good, but this was not an encouraging start. Aizawa hoped to learn what Yagi hoped would happen in the least. But instead the man left his lesson plans vague enough to minimize his paper trail. File 2. Request for Ground Alpha. Title Request for Ground Alpha. From yagi.t at plusultra.edu to Nezu at plusultra.edu. Hello, Nezu. No. How do you even do All Might's voice? Oh my god. I am here. No. Hello, Nezu, dear friend. I am here for the first day. I have to train these heroes. I'm requesting access to Ground Alpha in order to test their skills in a city environment. I believe it's important to get them start giving them real training exercises as soon as possible. Is what they expect as UA students. I'm sure you can ask them. You can ask any of them, or even Aizawa, and they would agree. Yours, Toshinori. From Nezu at plusultra.edu to yagi.t at plusultra.edu. Denied. As you know... Oh, fuck, I forgot Nezu's voice. As you know, one of the requirements of your working here is to read the faculty guidebook and act accordingly. If you had read it, you would know that Ground Alpha has been converted into a warehouse district that is primarily used for stealth and extraction training. It's in your best interest to stop imagining you know how things work here because you attended this school just over 40 years ago. Much has changed in that time, though evidently you have not. Please set up a date to meet with me soon so we can discuss further details regarding your employment. You would do best to remember that the commission wanted you to be employed here, not me or any other faculty members. If it was my choice, your training would have been much more rigorous. You're on thin ice. That being said, I will grant you access to Ground Beta for the day to do basics quirk training. I hope that you will properly help guide each and every student individually. Your work will be reviewed. Nezu, he, they. File 3. Transcripts of the event of Ground Beta as recorded by security. Now that we all gathered here in costume, I will go over the plans for today. We will be having 2v2 battles in the building behind me to see what you can do with your quirks. That sounds like President Mike. This exercise is recorded and we will have the same ones at the end of the year. Also recorded to see how you progress. Each of you can pick from this box and it'll tell you whether you're a hero or a villain and who you're up against. Let's form a line and get to choosing. Note from Nezu. If you want everything else, that is in file 4. But you do not need that at the present moment. I've taken the liberty of resuming this at the next relevant point. For file 3.5. Transcript of the fight between Midoriya and Uraraka as heroes, and Ida and Bakugo as villains, recorded by headset. Note that heroes can only hear heroes, villains can only hear villains, and Control can hear everything. Transcript begins. Control is online. Hero 2 is online. Villain 2 is online. Hero 1 is online. Can you hear me? Is this thing working? Yes, Uraka, it is. It's on. Perfect, thanks. Of course. Villain 1 is online. Is it on? Yes. Villain 1 is offline. No, you just turned it off. It was on before. Villain 1 is online. What about now? Obviously. Control. Both teams are online. Villains, can you confirm that you're in position? Yes, we are ready, All Might. Wonderful. Heroes may begin infiltration. Bakugo, stop. Why did you leave? Where did you go? We agreed to stay here and protect the weapon. There wasn't a lot of agreement. You just told me what to do and assumed I would do it. I'm sure you could protect the weapon on your own. Come back here right now. We can discuss this together. Shut up or I'm going offline. This is to help us take care of the heroes. At least come back so we can talk face to face. Villain 2 is offline. Bakugo, answer me. I want to know what you're thinking. If we lose, this is on you. Izuku, are you okay? I had an explosion. Izuku? I told you he would come for me. Are you okay? Mostly. Nothing hurts, so anything else is a problem for later. Right. Should I try to distract him? Izuku? You can't distract him. It is smart, so he would have cleared everything you can use out of that room. Stick to the plan. Find the sash. I'll keep leading Kachan away from you, but I'm gonna have to be very quiet. I'll stay online, so I'll be able to hear you, but I'm not sure when I'll be able to respond. Roger that. Good luck. Bakugo, are you online yet? I just had a rather large explosion. You managed to make the building shake, you know. Izuku, are you okay? Izuku, this is just a training exercise. You can request to stop if you need to. How's your whole running around like an idiot plan working out? Are you having a fun time? God, you're a nuisance. I found the stash. This should be all over soon, Izuku. What happened? The cameras are out. If no one responds to me, I'm ending this and both of your teams will be losing. We will move on to the next round. That's it. Exercise over. Both teams lose. I expect you back here within the next 5 minutes. Where are you all? File 5. Nurses report on the 4 students injured in the collapse. Student reports detailed by Shuzenzi Chio. Name, Tenya Ida. No, what is Chio's voice? What is Recovery Girl's voice? Name, Cheno... No, I need a drink. I'll just do it in my normal voice. Name, Tenya Ida. Age, 15. Quirk, Engine. Class, 1A. Report. His vitals are all stable. He was injured in the fall from nearly the top of the building, but from what I hear, it did not collapse all at once. Because he experienced a few short falls rather than one large one, he is still alive. I cannot say the same would hold true if the building collapsed all at once. Luckily, because his quirk adds weight to his lower body, he fell feet first and experienced no damage to his upper body, though he did experience multiple fractures throughout both feet and legs. The fibula? One of the big leg bones, I don't know. The fibula, there we go. The fibula is broken in both legs, and there is currently too much damage to the feet to tell what is injured and what is whole. Will be under my care for the foreseeable future. Name, Uraraka Achako. Age, 15. Quirk, 0 gravity. Class 1A. Report. She managed to use her quirk to secure a slab above her, which protected her from heavy damage. She's a bit scratched up. I used my quirk on her, and she didn't even fall asleep, so I sent her straight to Hound Dog, as I will do for the rest of the students once they are ready. Name, Bakugo Katsuki. Age, 15. Quirk, Explosion. Class 1A. Report. His vitals are all stable. One broken arm as well as a concussion. I healed him as well as I could for the moment. I'll be checking back on him soon. See my assistant's reports for more details. Name, Midoriya Izuku. Age, 15. Quirk, Null. Class 1A. Report. Vitals are unstable. Staff from local hospital should be coming in to help soon. 6 ribs on the right side were crushed as a result of some rubble falling, and there was damage to the spine nearby. He has a concussion, likely as a result from the fall. There were defensive bruises on his arms, bruises, burns, and some scratches. Burns along his front side was most likely pushed back as a result of an explosion as the building collapsed, as I do not believe any people, especially someone as capable as young Bakugo, would be capable of such violence against one of his peers. I used my quirk to help with organ damage, but I'm going to need help with reattaching the rig fragments currently floating in his torso. This should be done as soon as possible, so one of those fragments does not have time to puncture a lung. I am keeping him sedated for the time being. Jeez, English. Student report detailed by Nakamura Anzu. Name, Katsuki Bakugo. Age, 15. Quirk, Explosion. Class 1A. Report. Bakugo's vitals continue to remain stable. Shiro realigned his broken bones, a broken I suck at medical terms. A broken ulna, whatever that word spells, and radius, both in the right arm, and healed them very well. Though he should still have someone more qualified look over him. I'm afraid that Shiro is right in saying we are understaffed. His concussion will take some time to go away, and we're keeping him in a dark, quiet room for now. I recently informed his family of his injuries, and they'll be brought in when he wakes up. I hope it is soon. Okay, everyone, that was the second fic of He Heard You the First Time. I love this. It's so angsty. I'm not sure if you caught it because I was stuttering and I was out of breath by the time I finished. But it ends there. That's literally where the fic ends. So the student nurse, or the other nurse, didn't report on Izuku despite being in such a worse condition. Anyway, I loved that the discrimination. It was absolutely awesome. Not that discrimination is awesome, by the way. I should feel the need to note that. But yeah, sorry if I didn't get all the voices right. It's been a while since I voiced My Hero Academia podfics. Literally so long because I've been obsessed with Bungo Stray Dogs lately and haven't read anything by Hero Academia. So yeah, sorry about that. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed and I'll see you all later. Make sure to take care of yourself. Bye bye.